So what's going on, guys? My name's Chopper. Welcome everybody back to a brand new video on the channel. Today we've got a lot of major changes that are coming to PUBG that we need to discuss and talk about today. We have an absolute ton of information to break down when it comes to PUBG Labs, the way that they're testing out new content, and also some changes to the servers that are coming. If you ended up watching my previous update video, we briefly spoke about PUBG Labs, which is a brand new system they're trying out in order to have players experiment with new content that may or may not be permanent in the game. We very shortly spoke about the things that it could be bringing, but I really feel like we need to take an entire video and really open this one up. Before we get started on that, if you guys end up enjoying the video today, then of course please make sure to go ahead and drop the video a like rating. With the instability and uncertainty of YouTube right now, literally everything does help, so thank you guys so much. If you're brand new around here and you haven't already subscribed, make sure to do that as well so you don't miss any more videos. And last but not least, the day this video goes live, I'm streaming right now over on Twitch, so make sure to open up the description, go follow me over on Twitch, and I'll see you guys there for the streams. But without further ado, let's get into it. Now, most of you guys know in the previous update, a lot changed. Vikendi got a huge overhaul, the spike traps were added, and then the PUBG Labs was just kind of thrown into the middle of those notes, and they didn't really extrapolate on what this is all about. Now, in their own words, they say this, because this is quite interesting. PUBG Labs is a space where we will work with the community and players to experiment with new game modes, rule sets, features, and so much more. Your feedback on the systems and tests we carry out in PUBG Labs will directly benefit the community and grow on perspective on player priorities. We can't wait for you to try and get in there and try out the top secret action we've been working on. And one more key point, they also say this: PUBG Labs will continue to be updated with new content, play modes, new rule sets, and maybe even some new vistas to take in down the road. Now, if you guys haven't already seen it, they're running their own mode inside of PUBG Labs right now, and it's basically an esports PGC setup. The difference here with regular Battlegrounds rules is this is always played on old Erangel, and it also follows the exact same rules as the esports PGC. There's increased spawn rates of DMRs, snipers, and throwables. The red zone and flare guns are disabled, as well as increased and permanent vehicle spawns. Now, I think the reason they're testing out this game mode specifically is they're trying a more consistent feel to PUBG. A lot of players are frustrated because either their loot is really bad, they just don't find the stuff they're looking for, they get caught out with no vehicles, you know, all of the inconsistencies that happen within the regular BR, they're trying to cut out of this. The downside is it's only on the old Erangel, and also there's only 64 players, but that's kind of a double-edged sword because having less players generally means that your game is going to have a better optimized performance in game. But of course, there's also almost 50% less players in the given match, so it's probably going to end up feeling quite different than what you're used to in standard BR. Now, they also mentioned, a community manager said, if the player base really enjoys this mode in particular enough, then they're going to consider keeping it around as more of a long-term thing. Now, that's what it seems like PUBG Labs in general is going to do, is try out stuff there, and then if we don't like it, then they're going to scrap it. But if we do end up enjoying whatever the thing is that they're testing, then I suppose they're going to consider it, adding it permanently into regular BR. Now, the only thing that I'm a little bit confused about is how this is going to divide between the Labs playlist and then the standard playlist. I'm not exactly sure which one is being played more at the moment since we don't have the number statistics on those kinds of things, but I would argue it's still the regular BR, as a lot of people don't even know what PUBG Labs is supposed to be. As this is the first real test content on PUBG Labs, they're basically taking already content in the game, but putting it into a new rule set, or just the competitive rule set. But here's where things start to get really interesting. As many of you know, PUBG added something to custom games in which they made team deathmatch and ground spawning a possibility. And if you watch the gameplay, it was very prototypey, it was missing a lot of features, and it really wasn't cut out for what the function was supposed to be. It was more of a war mode that was shoved into a team deathmatch setting. It also only took a sliver of just a standard part of the BR map. It didn't really change anything to balance it for team deathmatch and kind of just threw you in. So it was a good concept, and it's a really good idea, but it was lacking significant features that were going to make it enjoyable and fair. And when we combined that with the knowledge we know from the PUBG throwaway account that a proper TDM mode with 2 to 3 different unique maps were being tested at PUBG or being tested internally, this gives us the pieces to the puzzle to determine that it seems like within the distant future, we're going to be trying out a proper team deathmatch mode inside of PUBG Labs. I know you might be skeptical to make that inference right now because PUBG Labs never even really confirmed that team deathmatch would be a part of this, but I think when you put these two pieces together, it becomes pretty obvious that's what's happening. So now, not only do we have reason to believe that team deathmatch is going to be part of this game very soon, and it's going to start within PUBG Labs, probably is going to take a lot of community feedback to get some tweaking and adjustment to it, but nonetheless, we're going to be playing that probably really soon. soon. Now, if that information wasn't exciting enough, I also have reason to believe that we're probably going to be getting a new Battle Royale map inside of PUBG Labs in the near future as well, because it's been a really long time since we've had a brand new map. Obviously, Erangel Remastered should count as a new map, and I will give it credit for that, but it's also something we've played before and is just a rehashing on an experience we've already had. And then, of course, recently we got Miramar Refresh, which isn't really quite a brand new map, and then we got some changes to Vikendi, which didn't really get its own name, but I would argue were bigger than Miramar's. But it doesn't really matter, because Vikendi was the last true real map we've gotten, and it's been over a year at this point. The reason I think a new BR map is either coming or is going to be tested within this PUBG Labs is because of the 4X leak. This was a leaked map codename that came along with Erangel Remastered, which is codenamed Baltic, and then 4X, obviously we had reason to believe, is Miramar Remastered. That didn't happen, long story short. However, the PUBG throwaway account confirmed to us that 4X, while it's not exactly Miramar Refreshed, that wasn't the big deal. 4X is related to that somehow, and that's all we know. The current theory I'm running with for this 4X map is this is maybe a slice of Miramar that is specifically cut out for Team Deathmatch that's going to be used in PUBG Labs. Basically, it's going to be redesigned in a way that's balanced for Team Deathmatch, but is going to be Miramar themed, or at least using these same assets within that map. Either that, or 4X is really the Miramar remaster. That would be absolutely amazing, but if it's not either of those two things, then the only explanation I can think of is this would be a brand new map. And if that ends up being the case, what sort of brand new map would you like to see? Because player feedback to them is paramount, and you guys have direct correlation onto what gets added into the game based on your opinion. So let me know if there is a brand new BR map coming. What do you want to see in it? What kind of setting do you like it to be? And any specific features, I'd love to know your opinion. Also, a new feature rumored to happen in PUBG Labs very soon is a brand new movement system for us. Now, again, we talked briefly about this in a previous video, but we didn't go too in detail onto what this is going to be. The movement system in PUBG has often been criticized for being slow, clunky, not really working properly, and just generally speaking in need of some polish. Now, according to our leaks, we're going to be getting a completely overhauled movement system. From what it sounds like, this could be an overhaul from the ground up. Everything to walking and running animations, grabbing loot, getting in and out of vehicles, maybe even vaulting. Pretty much they could redo the entire from the ground up system. This also explains why the riot shield is not in the game, because apparently the riot shield is not compatible with the current movement system, so I guess they're going to be testing maybe these things separately or both together. I'm not gonna lie, as far as getting new movement, I kind of like the base mechanics of PUBG's movement. I think it's really interesting. I don't want them to change too much. I would just prefer them to polish the systems that we already have, maybe leaning and crouching a little bit cleaner. You know, some stuff could be, I guess, improved, but I don't want them to go and change the movement of the game entirely, because that's a big part of, I think, what makes it special. So while I do agree some of the movement is scuffed and broken and definitely could use some improvement, I don't want them to change everything entirely. Based on all of our current information, we know a good portion of the new features and weapons that are going to be tested inside of PUBG Labs. And again, if you want to go check out every single new thing that we know is coming, I recommend you go check out that video. But what I wanted to focus on today was maps and game modes. As far as modes go, I would really like to see a PUBG Classic settings mode return, basically referring to a game mode in Erangel where all of the alpha settings are enabled, as far as like gun spawns and rarities and stuff like that, and maybe even weapon balancing, just kind of like a more classic mode for those who have been playing since the beginning. As much as that's possible, I feel like that'd be a fantastic idea. And when it comes to maps, obviously I want to see some specific Team Deathmatch maps, which we know are going to happen. Either they're going to be taking them from PUBG Lite, which honestly has some pretty excellent designed maps, I gotta be honest. And so either PUBG is going to do their own thing when it comes to Team Deathmatch, or they'll grab inspiration from other modes. Either way, I would love to see it. And then of course, I would really like a new BR map. Now, I understand the problem about adding new maps and then, you know, dividing the player base had they make that thing permanent, but it would be nice to get some new maps tested inside of PUBG Labs, which is its own kind of thing, which doesn't have to use the test server anymore. And that should help solve the problem at least a little bit, because with everyone on the same client, you don't get the same divide between the live server and the test server anymore, and hopefully they drop new maps on here, allowing a bigger shot of the player base to try it out. And with that knowledge in mind, what kind of maps do you guys want to see? Down below in the comment section, let me know. Do you want a Miramar remaster? Do you want an entirely brand new map? What is it that your heart desires as far as new content in PUBG goes? Because this is basically where they're going to try out anything and everything the community would like to see. I think it's a really cool idea for us to be able to give direct feedback either on this channel or just within other places in the community, and then that will manifest itself yourself in game eventually. Your guys' feedback and your words on like channels and stuff have a lot more power than you think, so use it wisely. So I'm really looking forward to the new updates that PUBG Labs has to offer, and whatever makes it through that cut, I guess, is going to be added to the permanent mode. Now, that being said as well, hopefully in a future update we get a rebalance to the spike traps, because I don't know how much of you guys have noticed this, but ever since these spike traps got added to the game, I literally have not seen a single one in a public match. The only way I can get them is in a custom match, but I've not seen not even one in pubs. A lot of people have been reporting this too, as many of you guys in my comment section have been complaining about it. I don't know if it's a glitch that's going to be fixed, or I don't know if that's in its intended rarity, but I feel like it should be a little bit more common. They mentioned it was going to be about as common as all the other throwables, but it certainly doesn't seem like it, so hopefully that's going to be fixed very soon. And then finally, another update PUBG is getting to the AS and OC servers. If you play PUBG on either of these two servers are going to be merging together. Essentially, they're setting the server inside Tokyo now, and it's all going to be on one for these two different regions, and this is going to be going on November 27th through about December 5th. Right now, it is just a test, but they seem to be moving and merging servers a lot recently, so if this goes well, expect to have this as a permanent feature in the game. The Oceanic servers won't go down completely. They'll have a period in which they're open from about 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., but in the meantime, after it goes down, they will all be merged into one server, and hopefully this is going to improve matchmaking times for people playing in this region, and also they've been looking into ping issues with these different ones, so hopefully this is going to fix it. Now, for those of you who don't play on these servers, this is still something to pay attention to, as your server could potentially get merged in the future if something like this goes well and it's in the cards. But this will be happening very soon, and it's something to keep a lookout for if you're playing on either of these servers and you're wondering what's going on. Guys, that is going to be the video for today. These are some of the major changes that PUBG is going to be getting, and especially regarding PUBG Labs. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I would love to know your opinions on all this down below in the comment section. As far as new maps and new modes and everything in PUBG Labs, what would you like to see? What would you not like to see? And also, let me know if you think this is the proper system in order to reveal and test out new content. I think it's great so far, and I'm really happy that they're doing this, but we'll see how it goes in the future. But if you guys enjoyed the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're brand new, and also make sure to go ahead and follow me over on Twitch. I'll see you guys there for the streams. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all on the next stream or the next video. Have a good one, and peace out.